Hey guys, it's Todd here. Look, I just want to make a short little video because I've had something on my mind that's really been pissing me off. I was chatting to somebody the other day who told me about a relative of theirs who had checked themselves into rehabilitation because of drug use and all that kind of shit, and had been kicked out a couple of times and then re-let back in, all this kind of shit. But, you know, what really irritates me here is the reasons why they were kicked out. And the reasons why they were kicked out is because they were developing friendships with people in this place and physical touch, you know, they're hugging. And, you know, this really fucking got to me because, like, you know, these rules that this place has, I'm not going to say what place this is, you know, stipulate that you cannot develop friendships. If you start developing friendships and close connections and stuff like that, you get isolated and separated, and you're not allowed to have physical touch. So you can't be hugging or touching or anything like that. So that Warren's getting kicked out of the program. So look, the reason why this kind of gets to me, and for a lot of people who don't really know this about me, is that, you know, for me, my past has been quite dark. And most people don't know this. You know, I've come from some pretty shitty times. And, you know, among the things that were pretty fucked up back then is a shitload of drug use. Yeah, I was fucking always on the glass pipe. I was fucking always chasing the next high, and I was doing a lot of stupid shit and dug myself a massive, massive hole. So what I'm about to say does not come from some fucking hypothesis or theory. It comes from real life experience. Myself going through that shit and stopping. And, you know, as I look back, let me tell you something. What was missing in my life was meaningful connections. I felt disconnected from absolutely everyone. So if we think about addictions for a moment, you know, and there's so many kinds of addictions. You know, we've got addictions to fucking social media. We've got addictions to our fucking phones. We've got addictions to freaking drugs, gambling, TV, all this kind of stuff. But if we break it down and we think about what the fucking addiction actually is, if you think about it, it's really us either one, having something missing and we're trying to fill some void, or two, we're trying to escape something. You know, for me, I had both. For me, I had no connections that were meaningful in my life. I felt completely disconnected and isolated. And I also wanted to escape all the fucking torment that I had inside. And the thing about drugs especially is what drugs do to you is it changes your state like that. Just like fucking emotional eating, just like all that kind of stuff. And most people, when we do these things, we're looking for a state change. And what I wanted to quickly talk about is, you know, three fucking forces that really came to my mind when I was chatting to this person. You know, we are controlled and completely influenced and affected in life by, I think, you know, three things really intensely. And they are, we are controlled by our external environment. You know, you've heard it before, you know, the people you hang around are who you are like. You know, proximity is power, all that kind of stuff. External environment heavily influences us. And then you've got our internal coping mechanisms. So how we deal with life, you know, what our strategies are, how we cope with things. But then you've got our values and our needs. So at the end of the day, values are things that are important to us, yeah? They're like these guiding factors that let us know whether we've done something right or something wrong, and we move towards them or away from them. And our needs are these core drivers deep inside that we all have to fulfill. Now, if we backtrack for a second and take a look at this thing that's fucking pissing me off so much, is that when you're addicted to something, something's missing, and quite often you've got this lack of connection. You know, once again, reflecting, that was so dominant in my life. So I've got this lack of connection, meaningful connection with people. So I replace it with, for me, you know, it was ice, it was pills, it was fucking all that kind of stuff. And, you know, these people that are getting into these rehab places, getting told to not touch, not connect, not actually fucking have relationships. That's some bullshit, because you're essentially fucking making it worse. You go there, yeah, going into a rehab clinic is a great thing because it changes your external environment, right? So you know the outcome should be change the external environment, then teach the appropriate, you know, internal coping mechanisms, but then also give these people something to fucking actually, you know, have connection, because ultimately, you know, one of our human needs is the need for love and connection. And if we can't get that in healthy ways, believe me, we get it in unhealthy ways. And, you know, these addictions that people get, especially with drugs and stuff, is an unhealthy way of achieving a fundamental human need. You know, we're living in a time where we're more connected than ever, to some extent, but also more disconnected than ever. You know, people would rather send a fucking text than make a call than go fucking see somebody face to face. In fact, so many people have got this social anxiety, they don't even want to go speak to people. So, you know, we're in an interesting place right now, but, you know, when it comes to addictions, and this is the premise of this fucking little video, you know, We have to fucking give people love, not judgment. We want to give people connection, not isolation. You know, there's lots of fucking research out there now about fucking people actually getting connection and growing from that. You know, I was just watching this thing the other day on Facebook when they were talking about some place, I think it was in Brazil, where they, you know, abolished, decriminalized heroin or whatever it was. And, you know, they started to bring them in and form communities and connections, and it decreased the rate of people that were actually taking the drug. You know, that's just one example, but the fact is, reflecting just on myself, not from external things, when I learned to connect with people better and not feel so isolated, my need to escape and feel like something missing diminished massively. And you know, if you've got friends or family or people going through these fucking problems, you need to help them reconnect. You know, it's so fucking crucial. It's such a fundamental and simple thing. But, you know, we're living in a day and age where so many people are scared to connect. They're scared to love. They're scared to open up. And believe me, you know, fuck, I've worked with lots of clients now as well in a therapy setting that have had these kind of issues. And, you know, a consistent theme is this lack of connection and this need to escape. But ultimately the escape is the need to change your state. You haven't got the right fucking strategies to change your state in a positive way. And the fucking fundamental flaw that we've got is we've got this fucking brain that has evolved over millions of years, and it's lazy as hell. You know, it takes the fucking path of least resistance. And unfortunately, some people learn how to change their state in negative ways, you know, and that's the thing that's fucking happening right there, is they're changing their state in negative ways. They haven't got the right internal coping mechanisms, and then they go and they jump into a fucking place that blocks the fucking thing that you need, which is that love and connection. I'm sorry, but that is fucked and it needs to change. So look, if you have somebody that you're thinking needs to go into like a rehabilitation place or something like that, please assess their rules. If they're saying that they can't connect and they can't, you know, get love and, you know, physical touch and stuff like that, please don't let that person go there, because they're blocking a big part of that person's transformation. Change the environment, teach them the right fucking strategies and skills, and let them build meaningful connections, genuine connections, relationships with people, whether it be with friends or family. You know, a lot of people come from broken families and it impacts them quite negatively. You know, and in life, we either grow from these things like I have, you know, but then there's other people that don't, you know, they go down this destructive path. My destructive path ended when I was 18, but it was forced because I was fucking sitting in a jail cell and I was on a fucking potential life sentence for something I didn't do. So everything was against me. But, you know, in life, you know, we're formed and shifted and shaped by our choices and decisions. And the moment that we can start to, you know, assess ourselves and start to make better choices and better decisions, and it's not about being perfect day dot, believe me. It's not about that. It's about just making a better choice upon a better choice upon a better choice. And then over time, your life changes. You don't have to be perfect. You never aim for that perfection. And, you know, if you're someone that's going through an addiction or something like that, or somebody you know, don't expect them to be perfect day dot, because there's a reason why they're doing that shit. There's something they're escaping or there's something that's missing. Fuck, help them find what's missing. Teach them how to fucking actually, you know, achieve, you know, that state change in a healthy way. Help them move and, you know, have a different environment. Environment is a big thing. The people that we hang around. I look back to when I was 17, I was hanging around fuckwits. And, you know, my life was a reflection of the people that I was around. So look, that's my 2 cents. It kind of got to me and it really did piss me off, because this place is essentially fucking blocking a big part of these people's transformations. And I think that, you know, we live in a world where people need more love. You know, it's a simple fucking fact. And I'm not some fucking Gandhi motherfucker that's like preaching all this love stuff, but it's true. We need connection, and so many people are scared to give it these days. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Thank you very much.